is Cyrus Farivar. I am an Iranian-American journalist. I was born and raised in California. I currently live in Bonn, Germany. I just took the train up this morning. I work for Deutsche Welle. How many people actually here know what Deutsche Welle is? All right, everybody. Okay, good. So your taxes pay my salary, so thank you. I have a weekly radio program about European science and technology news. It's called Spectrum. If you listen to podcasts or you search DW Spectrum on iTunes or on the internet, you can find it and listen to it hopefully every week. Thank you again to these wonderful hosts, the Media Center. Thank you to the Consulate. Thank you to the Hamburg and to the University for hosting this evening. I am the author of this new book, The Internet and Elsewhere. It is available after the lecture for 20 euros. I'll be happy to sign it for you if you're so interested. If you would like, you can read the first 15 pages for €0, totally free, on my website, which is internetatelsewhere.com. There's a 15-page PDF. You can download it and read it and share it and remix it and do whatever you want. If someone wants to remix it, please tell me, because that would be good. Okay, so how many people here use Facebook? Wow. How many people use Twitter? Okay, cool. And how many of you are students? Very good. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I asked these questions just to kind of set things up a little bit. I'm obviously talking about the internet in Iran. Some of you may have heard of this term, the Twitter revolution. Have people heard of this? Raise your hand if you've heard of this. Okay, so basically everybody's. How many people believe that that's actually true? Okay. I don't, actually. I don't believe that this Twitter revolution, this phrase Twitter revolution, is very accurate. One, because despite a lot of attention that it received in the English-speaking press and possibly also in the German-speaking press, you guys can tell me better than I can, I think that it's a misnomer. It's inaccurate to call that a Twitter revolution. Number one, Twitter is not used nearly as much as I think people give credit for. There was a study that was done by an organization out of Harvard University in the United States that looked at all of the tweets with the hashtag Iran election, which was very popular in sharing news about the election. I'm talking June 2009. There was a study looking at the 2 million tweets that were sent during the month after the election, and it found that about a quarter of them were actually retweets, and that a significant portion of them were also people who only tweeted only one time. And also that a lot of those tweets originated from outside Iran. So I personally don't feel that there's strong evidence to suggest that Twitter played a strong role in terms of within the country in terms of organizing people. That's number one. Number two, I really don't like this term revolution. I think it's an accurate term that we can use with respect to the Arab Spring in terms of Egypt and Tunisia, in terms of revolutions with Arab governments. Those of you who have taken political science classes, I think you would agree with me when I would say that a revolution is truly a dramatic change in the political system. We talk about the American Revolution, we talk about the Islamic Revolution, the French Revolution, but I don't know that we can talk about a Twitter revolution simply because today, as was the case 2 years ago, the Islamic Republic still stands. The Supreme Leader is still the Supreme Leader, Ahmadinejad is still the President. The country functions more or less as it did 2 years ago. So I don't know that the word revolution is very accurate here. But it is true that a lot of people did use the internet to promote and spread and amplify, particularly through expatriate Iranian members of the diaspora, children of members of the diaspora like me. I was amongst the people who was sending out lots of retweets and such. There were lots of very dramatic and very heartbreaking examples of things that happened during that time, during that period of unrest and violence. Most notably, many of you will know, there was a case of a young woman named Nida who was shot and killed on the streets of Tehran during the protests in June 2009. There were in fact 2 YouTube videos that are still available. You can choose. They're very graphic. And it shows in a very tragic situation her being shot and killed on the streets of Tehran. And that